Okay, first day back on the job. Of course, the AC unit kicks on. Always. It's like I hit record on this damn thing and the AC unit decides to turn on. Or the heater, whatever it is. So I had a nice little break over the weekend. Came back today. Got this frame all fit up for where the hatch is going to go. Everything worked out pretty well. There's a couple things I had to change. So for like the inside here, I had to bevel this edge off. I took a quarter off and I put the blade at a 10-degree angle, so it would kind of angle it up, because the hatch was catching on this edge here. And there's just not much tolerance in between the hatch and this up here, but I wanted, you know, as much surface area as I could have, but had to cut some back there. And then I sanded down the edges over here, all down in this channel here, so when I lay the chop strand down to adhere these all together, it'll just kind of, you know, flow nicely. Next, what did I have to do next? Oh, and I took my little Dremel tool, this little reverse drill bit thing on it, and it does a really good at shaving down edges. That's what I use to route out the inside here of this channel, where the two pieces of Coosa just didn't match up perfectly, that I'm going to be putting the chop strand down on. And it got everything pretty square. This piece here was a little wonky, so what I actually did was I took it on the concrete pad I have outside, and I just kind of put even pressure of the whole thing and just gently rubbed it against the concrete to get it nice and fair, so it's level from here to here. There aren't any weird spots. And then also on the fiberglass too, so if you got a sandpaper and you got a concrete pad around, just, you know, works great for sanding Coosa down. And then I took the soft sander here, picked these up off the Amazons, put one of them down in here on that little groove there when it was sticky, and rode it along this edge here to get everything rounded up on this here, so when I go lay more glass on it, the glass will stick nicely, it won't be a sharp 90-degree edge, and it'll look better all around. So that's where we're at. I'm gonna go ahead and pull these up, get some thickened epoxy, squirt in there, and then drill them back so they hold overnight. All right, I had to take it off of the deck there because I forgot I had all these screws, like these ones on top of here, in there, and they were not letting it hit the flush to the deck. And I was like, well, I'm an idiot again, and I need to make sure these here are all sandwiched together. So I'm gonna mix me up some Cavsil or thickened resin with some of the good old man-made glass fiber here, put it in my little oh, we got it. I'll put her in the syringe. I'm just gonna squirt it all the way around. I'm gonna do one piece at a time, so I don't get too carried away and forget how it goes together, and maintain its shape for the most part. And yeah, and then we'll let it sit overnight, and then tomorrow we'll come back and glue it to the bottom of that sucker and glass it in and make it look all pretty. All right, that's a wrap. If you're wondering how I managed to get the thickened epoxy to last that entire amount of time and make the perfect amount, well, I don't have an answer for you. I guess it was just luck. I've never had it go that smoothly with this thickened shit. Once you put that catalyst in there, it just wants to eat. But it is also like 29 degrees outside, so maybe I have that in my favor. Pretty happy with the way it turned out here. I just put a bunch of screws in it and hope it'll hold. I'm thinking about going ahead and while it's out, putting the chop strand down here in the groove to really seal it off, but I don't know. I might wait on that. Do it all at one time tomorrow. Let this get nice and set up so I don't have to worry about it. I think that's what I'm going to do, because I want to make sure this cure is nice and tight. It doesn't go anywhere, so I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I really didn't have much spillover. I cleaned up in this area some, just because I didn't want it building up anywhere, but yeah, pretty impressed. Hopefully she sits fair. Yeah. Well, I think I'm going to call it quits for the night. This is very cold and I cannot feel my feet. We'll pick up where I left off tomorrow. I'm sorry that I'm going to be talking with the respirator on, but I just got done fiberglassing and painting and I got the heater on and there's a lot of fumes going on in here. So, today, got the back side of this glass in last night. Turned out pretty well. I had to adjust my supports just about a half of an inch to the outside because of the distance there was in between here. When I put the glass in it, it just was rubbing. And then I got everything in there, got it fit, re-drilled the holes for them to sink those legs into. I really botched that one up. Measurements were wrong, but whatever. I'm just gonna put the fiberglass in it and call it a day. Then I went and got the chop strand that I have, got it wet with resin, and then poked it down into this channel here, just so it'll provide some extra support in here, keep everything glued together nicely. I was pretty impressed with the way that it turned out. Not really many bubbles up here. I'm going to be sanding this down because there's already 1708 on the top of here. It was just to kind of curve it out and make it all the same, and then I'm going to come and sand this once it dries, get it fair, get it flat, so that way when the hatch sits on top of it, it'll sit nice and slug. And yeah, that's what we've been doing today. The Amazon guy came and delivered some more of the Total Boat Total Bilge. Just got done putting some of this stuff down here, the second coat. I put one coat down here, and just between stepping on it and everything, I completely messed it up. Footprints everywhere. It was just gross. Dropping acetone and resin made it peel up too. So now, hopefully, I won't have to coat this anymore as it stands. This is the final coat of resin on here. Not resin, but paint. And it looks pretty. Paint makes everything look good, right? Let's see. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do up front with that piece there. It's not as tight as I'd like it to be. Right where that buddy heater's sitting. There's just a lot of flex in it and everything, so I don't know what I'm gonna end up doing. Might have to run another stringer. I've got some other scrap metal down there. I might run a support across or something. I don't know. I might just put a layer of glass on it and see how sturdy it is and call it a day. Just like fillet it on the sides, a couple like 2-inch strips, and then get bigger and bigger, and then just put 2 layers of 1208 to make it 24 ounces on top of chop strand. So that's the plan. I think there'll be enough support. I'm going to tie them in together, the 2 pieces of floor, using these pieces of 1708 fiberglass onto the Nautical 26 scrap that I had. Be putting them on a seam right where they join together, like so, so they all move in the same. I did the same thing back here, and it really tightened things up a lot. There's like no flex whatsoever, and this isn't even glassed in all the way. So that's where we're at. Kind of hit a stopping point for the day. I gotta let everything dry out and cure.
So once that's done, come back tomorrow, do some final sanding. I'll probably put a layer of chop strand in here, maybe, or I might just paint it. I don't know. We'll see. I thought about putting the rest of that Total Builds down in here and just painting it, but I don't know if that'll add too much product in here in this channel. Oh, and then one other thing I did, I went and got, where are they at? So you can't see the holes that are drilled already, but there are holes drilled down there for the water. This is that PEX, P-E-X. I think it's used for like water, toilets, whatnot. So I got like 8 feet of this shit, and these brass fittings here, and they're going to be mounted on each corner. I've got 2 holes. I'm going to mount them on each corner, recess them in a little bit, and then run the drains all the way back, and they'll come out the bulkhead there. That's the plan so far, and this will sit, this distance here will sit flush with this channel in here. So that way, if water gets in here, whether it goes to the right or the left side, I'll have somewhere to drain. And there's a slight bow on this floor too, where everything will drain to the corners that I built in there intentionally. So hopefully this all works as planned. This is a 1/2 inch tube, a 1/2 inch fitting, which is really tight. So I just heated this brass up with a heat gun, and it slid right into this PEX fitting here. And I just took a razor and cut it. And I'll probably 5200 it into the corners. So that is that's where we're at, making progress. Supposed to get more snow this weekend. We'll see if the tent survives. I don't really know what I can do now, so probably gonna go take a break, drink a beer. We'll pick up tomorrow, hopefully get this hatch finished up and get her put in there. I'm ready for it to be in there. I'm ready to be done with this. I've probably got like 20 hours in total making this, between fiberglassing and cutting and everything else. So ready for it to be done so I can move on to the back here.
We've made lots of improvements, lots of progress. So we got about to fall in a hole over here. We got the front end all buttoned up, 99% complete. The only thing that is remaining now is going to be another bulkhead installed up here to seal that off. That's where I'm going to store the anchor and rope and any other odds and ends that find their way up there up front. Down here we have a single layer of 1208 chop strand mat. I ran out. I didn't buy enough, and I decided to make do with what I had. So I didn't have enough to do 2 even runs. So it's one continuous piece from the front all the way back here to this seam, and then it's another piece from here all the way back over here, down, and then out like 4 inches on each side. So I had enough though to make it around this cubby hole that I built, and I'm just having to cut off some pieces. It looks not as good as I would like it to right now, but nothing a sander can't fix. I ended up overlapping here on the corner, roughly 5 inches on each side, and on the top. So there's 2 strips running this way, 2 pieces running, a piece running that way, and then 2 running this way, horizontal and vertical, however that goes. And it's pretty sturdy. I'm satisfied. It doesn't really move. Having all this extra glass in here with the hatch and the framework and everything glassed in, screwed in, the 2 square stainless pieces of tubing that I installed, they sunk down nicely, filled them up with resin. They are nice and hard, not going anywhere, and they should be pretty covered and not exposed once it comes to paint. And I think I'm going to end up sanding around the edge here just to kind of blend it into the side of the boat a little more once it comes time to paint it. Stepping on here, still not cured. It's like 30 degrees here still in Virginia, but I've got this kerosene heater. I've got another little Mr. Buddy propane heater. I would say right here on the top of the tent is probably close to 70, 75 degrees, and it's been getting the job done.